Hey, good morning, my friends. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. We got to start to give you a word of watch out, and that is that there could be some flooding across, I would say, south central, maybe call it southwest and southeast lower Michigan, maybe into the Saginaw Valley and the Thumb, but not so much there. So what I'm starting off with is a excessive flood risk of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance, meaning some places may need a few inches to have flash flooding or flooding. And so there's about a 15% chance in that yellow area. So it's not a very large chance, but I'll show you the rainfall totals. And heavy rainfall expected, of course, because we are looking at the remnants of what was Hurricane Beryl heading our way. So here's the radar right now, and you can see the circulation center at the very bottom of your screen is in Arkansas, to the west of Memphis. And on the northwest side of that is where you get the heavy rainfall. You can see the yellows in Missouri. And by the way, tropical raindrops are different than the thunderstorm raindrops we have up here. They are smaller, so they don't show up as heavy as what you think the rain is on the radar. So in other words, if this was not a tropical storm system and that rainfall rate in Missouri was the rate it is, you'd probably see some oranges and reds in there. In other words, it's a little bit deceiving if you are a fan of watching the radar. Okay, so now we're going to go to the models, and I'm going to show you when and where the rainfall moves in. So we go through the day today. We're at noon here. We're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. What I would say is south of I-94, you could have rain by 6 o'clock. This would be the first little beginnings of this. Hey, good morning, Carol McDougall from Glennie, and Ed Johnson. Good morning, Brittany McCarthy. Good morning to you. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Consumers Energy. So we're looking at the model forecast, the model that I like at this time now for the most part. And we go to, let's go to midnight. So basically at midnight, you're going to have some light rain starting in the Saginaw, Bay City, Midland area, the Thumb, in Flint, in Grand Rapids. You'll have the heavier rain starting to come in to the far southern part of the state from Ann Arbor along I-94 and points southward by midnight. Then we're at 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. and you can see that the area of rain blossoms. So where you see the yellows and the oranges, that's a fairly heavy rain. That's a rainfall rate of an inch every 3 to 6 hours. This isn't like a flash flood thunderstorm. Wow, we had 3 inches in 1 hour. It's more drawn out. It's an 18-hour rainfall for some spots. So this is tomorrow morning. It'll take you some time to get places because it won't be just an intermittent rainfall. It'll be fairly widespread. Now we're at 10, 11, noon. Still waves of heavy rainfall. This model, whether it's right or not, I don't know, but it has the idea that you could have a couple of several-hour rounds of heavy rain. This is 4 o'clock tomorrow. We're still locked in to the rainfall. So I think the best thing you could do, if you have a basement or a house that is in would flood with 3 or 4 inches of rain, I think the best thing you could do is make sure you check your sump pump now. Hit the float, make sure it runs. If you can get it to a water level where you can dump water in there and make sure it pumps out, you can do that. Sometimes that's hard to do. Sometimes you have to take a hose and run it to it, depending on how the average water table is at your house. Other thing is check your gutters. Like I know, for example, at our house we have a drainage tile attached to the gutter and takes it away from the house. I'm going to go out there, make sure it's seated properly so that it doesn't pop off and then the water comes right down the outside of the basement, and then you know what happens. You're stepping on wet carpet or something like that. So basically, this starts this evening, and it's in full rainfall mode by morning and continues through the day, probably winding down sometime tomorrow evening. Here's what I like on total rainfall right now, just to give you a general feel for who has to worry about heavy rainfall and who doesn't. Who has to worry about heavy rainfall? I would say a swath anywhere from southwest corner, Jody Slongo. It depends on your location and your house for this. So this is a 2 to 4 inch rain over 18 hours for a large area, southwest to south central to the thumb of Michigan. If your house can handle that, if it sits up high, you're okay. If you have problems, then you probably better be ready for some problems. Don Peterson, how much rain are we getting in mid-Michigan? Mid-Michigan, usually, on our side of the state, the east side, usually that means Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, Flint area. And I would call it easily a 1 to 2 inch rain with the potential for 3 inches. Now, this right here, again, I wouldn't take the heaviest as exact. What I'm using here is an average from the best model. This would be several iterations of the best model averaged together. So it misses the very heaviest, but it does say that, Kalamazoo, you'd be in the heavy stuff. If you got the basement that gets water, if your downspouts aren't going away, you better check and make sure they didn't get hit by the lawnmower. Lansing, 2 to 4 inches. Grand Rapids, south side, maybe heavier than the north side. And the Detroit Ann Arbor area looks like it may be on the out of the heaviest, maybe 1 inch to 2 inches. But I'd be leery there because these storm systems often track a little bit farther south and east than expected, although we're in a situation where this could probably be quite accurate as close as it is. Roxanne Robles, Ann Arbor, Saline area. I think you're looking at easily 1 inch, probably 2, and I don't know that you'll have 3. Betty Trombley, I'm not sure where Partialville is. DV Chad Hardacre. My basement flooded when we had 3 inches in an hour. Should I be worried? In Linden. Linden would be in the probably 2 inches, maybe 3 inches. Over 18 hours. So you know your house. You have to know that. North Jackson, Mickey Henderson, would be in the heavy zone. You're in the flood watch, 2 inches to maybe 3, maybe 4. Alicia Clymer, how do you determine what area gets what? We use the models because the models are very accurate. We pick the model that would be best in this situation, and what I'm using here is this best model in its mode where it runs several different times in different ways and gives us kind of an average. Partialville is near Fenton, so yeah, you're in the 2 to 4 inch rain also. Bay City, Nick Meldrum, you are on the edge. Easily an inch, maybe 2 inches. What time is it coming through South Grand Rapids? All right, so let's get to the timing. So you see the swath of heavy rain, and now, actually, I want to go back and give you, well, I gave you the timing here. Yes, that's right. So what I said was, in South Grand Rapids, you're probably looking at it starting before midnight lightly, and then it's going full bore by tomorrow morning. And again, Grand Rapids is kind of on the edge. Angie Barber, Mount Pleasant, you're probably an inch. You're probably out of what we would call flooding rain, and you're probably into just a good rain for the garden. By the way, these tropical rains, I have found, have some sort of secret sauce in them, nutrients from where they come from in the south, and watch your garden grow after this. If it doesn't get flooded out, watch it grow. If you are in the inch of this kind of rain, look out. You better get the mower gassed up. Here's the bigger picture. So here's the storm system. Here's a model that we like for the bigger picture. This is tomorrow, 6 p.m. And this model is known to be fast. So in other words, tomorrow's a wet day. If you have any hopes of doing something outside tomorrow, you should reschedule. There will be probably a snowball's chance in where of escaping rainfall tomorrow. And then by Thursday morning, it's just hanging on to the thumb, but moving on out. We should dry out for Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, but we'll look at that a little bit later. Let's see. Diana Nagel, Detroit. You may be out of the heaviest rain. It may be to your north into Oakland County. I would call Detroit 1 to 2 inches. So here's the longer time period. There you can clearly see how it's tropical system keeping its rotation. Not tropical. Winds in this, by the way, 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts, so it's a nasty rain. It's going to be an interesting weather day tomorrow. Also, the clouds look different in a tropical rain. The bases are lower. They almost look greenish gray. So if you're a weather fan like I am, and you probably are if you're here, then notice the differences tomorrow. Adrian Alyssa Ball, the heaviest arc could be to your north, but I think you're a 1 to 2 inch rain. Standish Pinconning, Jerry Nelson, the 1 to 2 inch rain. Birch Run, Sandra Crandall, you are 1 to 2, maybe 3 or 4. So we go into Saturday, that's coming up dry right now, and we go into Sunday, and we maybe get our next batch of thunderstorms, more likely by Monday, it looks like, because it looks like we're going to about a every 3-day type pattern. Then coming out of the northwest, notice how the next systems come out of the northwest. I'm kind of doing a forwards and backwards thing for you. And those northwesterly systems blow in, blow out pretty quickly. North Muskegon, Renee, you probably not much. I guess I should go back and show you where we don't worry about flooding. So let's look at this again. And, I would say from Big Rapids to Clare to Tawas northward, so including Cadillac, including Houghton Lake, Traverse City, all the way up to the UP, you're not looking at a lot of rain. You taper from an inch down to Traverse City, maybe just a couple of tenths of an inch of rain. To Mackinac City, maybe not much at all. Maybe just some sporadic, less than a tenth of an inch. East Lansing, good morning, Joshua Lockerbie. I would say East Lansing is definitely in the heart of the heaviest swath. probably at least 2 inches, maybe 3, maybe 4. I do want to point out that one of our best models can overdo it, but can be good at times, and it has some spots, isolated spots, maybe about the size of half of a county, if you will, for Michigan, of up to 7 inches of rain. So that's why we're just keeping the alert out for you. Don't get overly concerned, but if you have a house that needs some protection from flooding, do the things that you do now. Cheryl Ann, seeing any wind, this will be a gusty 20, 30 mile an hour wind at times, so it won't be really a wind type situation. Justina Goodeye, Kalamazoo, you're in the heavy band. 2 inches, 3 inches, maybe 4 inches. Yeah, Joshua, forget about the power washing. All right, so we've formed it into the weekend. Now just a little bit of, and by the way, we're going to be doing additional posts to just keep you updated. This is, I've told the weather team, this is like we would handle a snowstorm in the winter. You'd expect every 6 or 8 hours an update on what has changed, where the heavy snow band has shifted to. Has it gone up or down? We'll do that same thing with this rain situation. Kathy Scott Jackson is right in the heart of what would be a 2 to maybe 4 inch rain. A couple words once we get done. Now this is the extended, this is the upper air pattern. What I just wanted to show you is that the general theme for the next 2 weeks is the heat is going to stay in check because of these northwesterly flow events. So, the record heat, you heard about Vegas, hit 120 degrees yesterday or the day before, the hottest temperature ever recorded in Las Vegas. Who would go to Las Vegas in early July and walk around? They were saying the pavement temperature was 160 something. But with this long-term northwesterly flow, we will gradually have temperatures building, but we'll stay out of an extended period of 90s. Angie Jordan, Tuscola County, looking at a solid, easy 1 inch, solid 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and you might find some 3 or 4 inch little swaths. Now we'll close out with temperatures, and it's basically a very nice summer pattern. 80s today. Tomorrow, obviously, a lot cooler because of the clouds and rain through the entire day. Let's see. This would be Thursday in the low 80s, Friday in the 80s. It's going to be muggy. Steve Rogowski, how much rain in Grand Rapids? I would say south side of Grand Rapids, heavier than the north side. I would say south side, 1, 2, maybe 3 inches. North side, probably 1 to 2 inches. So Grand Rapids, you are in the flood watch, depending on where that band, that arc of heaviest rain sets up, and it's close. So we'll have to watch it. Could it shift toward Grand Rapids? Yes. So this is Saturday, this is Sunday, so everything just shows up as summer, 82 to 85, 87 degrees. This is next Tuesday, next Wednesday, next Thursday. Looks like summer. And one thing I do want to point out is that we'll be tracking this. This will be, what in meteorology we call a mesoscale event also, which is kind of rare in rainfall. And that means that you get these small half a county pockets that get possibly extreme rain. The one thing I want to point out was yesterday we had isolated thunderstorms in the normal air that we have right now, which was kind of muggy. And those thunderstorms put down 1.5 inches of rain in a half hour in some places. They were very isolated. Now you put in the tropical air from Hurricane Beryl, and you get a combo. It starts to reap all of the moisture that's in the air. Let's see. A few more questions for you. So this is what we're using right now on MLive as the best general rainfall forecast. Jay Clayton, what about Washtenaw County? I would call it easy 1 to 2, maybe 3. Macomb County, Lenny, Macomb Yard, you are possibly going to be just to the south of the heaviest band, like a snowstorm, like you talked about. This map almost looks like that, you know, with a heaviest in the center. So Macomb County, you're probably 1 to 2 inches, but you could creep into the 3. Flood watch in Jackson, yes. Is Bay City getting anything, Samantha Martin? Bay City, yes. Easily 1, probably 2. If it would shift north, maybe 3 in some spots. Essexville more than the northwest part of Bay County. How much rain in Dowagiac? You would be right in the heavy band. That would be where you could have 2 to 4 inches. And if it goes more, you could have it there. How much rain in Harbor Beach? You're probably a solid 2, maybe more. Freeland, Bill Warnock, 1 to 2. Jason Bracken, Flint, probably in the heart of the heaviest band, so probably 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Does that mean the tropical air will take away the humidity? No. The tropical air will hang because we don't have a cold air mass coming in after it to sweep it out. So it is going to be muggy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The residual water standing, evaporating. Look out. You better have the air conditioner going. Western Wayne County, David Marceau the second. Yeah, you're looking at probably at least 1 to 2, maybe 3. Oakland County is a concern because you are highly populated, a lot of pavement, and you're in the 2 to 4 inch band. So there you have it. We will just keep you updated. Dennis Clinton Lee II asked, what about tornadoes? Not something that I would be extremely concerned about, but you bring up a good point that this circulating storm system has the rotation to transfer down to quick little spin-up tornadoes. So thanks for jogging my memory. I'm going to take a look at that. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. We've had a good crowd there. Keep checking MLive.com. Remember, we do have a subscription-based service, but in times of weather safety, we tag all of those so that they are not something you have to pay for. So I'm sure we will be tagging all of the posts on this storm system as free. So feel free to go to mlive.com/weather. It would get you there quicker. mlive.com/weather. And check every 6 or 8 hours because we'll be fine-tuning this much like we do a snowstorm on where the heaviest rain will be falling. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy.